Now, for a special presentation, only one person in this council could pull something this special off. And I'd like to now defer to Mr. Paul Koretz to take at least some of us down a trip, a pleasant trip for many of us. Mr. Koretz, the floor is yours. Don't be shy. Join Mr. Koretz if you would.
Well, thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. It's with the utmost delight that I ask you to join me in celebrating one of the most incredible talents of our time, Donovan.
Yay! Yeah.
He's a unique creative force, and he has been that for more than half a century. He's a truly inspiring artist who was installed in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2012, and we honor his vision and his voice, and we thank him for gifting us with so many great songs. But we also look back 50 years ago. For 50 years ago tomorrow, it was that time that Donovan's hit single, Sunshine Superman, which helped change the face of music, reached #1 on the Billboard charts. Indeed, Donovan is about to embark on a 50th anniversary Sunshine Superman tour, memorializing the single and album of that name. And here it is for those of you who might be old enough like myself to remember it. Through his music and his life, Donovan has been a vagabond poet and a troubadour, a rebel and a guide, a visionary and a uniter, a peaceful, gentle man, and a voice for change. He has lived an incredibly rich and varied life, starting with his early years in Glasgow and then in England into the 1960s, when he became one of the world's best known and loved performers, and then continuing straight on through today. For his extraordinary creative output has continued undaunted and forever fresh. So first, let me say welcome to Los Angeles and at City Hall, Donovan. We also welcome Donovan's wife, Linda, and family. I'm also pleased that we're joined by renowned radio personality Cynthia Fox from the Sound 100.3, who will also share a few words about Donovan in a moment. If we had the time this morning, we could easily spend several enjoyable hours discussing how he made magical songs like Sunshine Superman, Catch the Wind, Mellow Yellow, Colors, Hurdy-Gurdy Man, Season of the Witch, Where Your Love Like Heaven, There Is a Mountain, Jennifer Juniper, Atlantis, To Susan on the West Coast Waiting, my favorite but a little more forgotten song, Lelania, and many others. And we could mention all the creative geniuses that he influenced, not the least of which was the Beatles, whom he instructed and inspired about guitar fingering, songwriting, and spirituality. So there's a lot of stuff we could spend all day talking about, but I want to focus on what it is about Donovan that has meant so much to me. As a kid in the 60s, I loved that Donovan made music, but also made more than music. He gave us a sense of the world opening up to us. A song wasn't just a song, it was a way of understanding, of feeling, heightened by his understandings of all kinds of music, including folk, jazz, blues, Eastern music, West Coast rock, other spoken and musical traditions, woven together with his visionary spirit. And now in the 21st century, we can look back on the music of the 60s and love the songs and notes and harmonies and changes in tone, but we also love what they were about and where they were coming from. And Donovan was at the center of that, for he was a great awareness raiser. And I think that ability of his to think globally and environmentally, as well as personally and intimately, changed the world then and has continued to have a long-lasting and growing impact. And when I sort of discovered rock and roll, A friend of mine introduced me to it on the radio at the very end of a long summer in 1966. I remember the two songs I first heard, Sunny Afternoon by the Kinks and Sunshine Superman by Donovan. So 50 years later, that's had a lasting impact on my life. So we have so much to be grateful for, and now I'd like to ask Cynthia Fox to share a few thoughts as well.
First off, I have to say it's an absolute honor to be here and representing everybody from 100.3 The Sound, Southern California's classic rock. And actually, Mimi Chin, our resident flower child, who hosts Peace, Love, and Sunday Mornings, asked me to come down. It is an absolute honor. We have to thank Donovan for mentioning and referencing Los Angeles in his songs. It's a tribute to the City of the Angels. It's been an honor for us to be able to play his music on the air these many years working in radio. And I have to bring up a really nice quote from Jenny Boyd, who actually inspired the song Jennifer Juniper, has a book about creativity. And I think one of Donovan's lasting legacies is the fact that he inspires people to be creative. Paul Horn, who toured with Donovan said, there's a certain kind of magic there, the magic that people can be transformed through sound, simple sound. So we want to thank Donovan for creating music that reflects gentleness, kindness, hope, optimism, imagination, creativity, and love. And that is what our society is built upon. So, and in closing, I have to say, there is a legend that when Donovan played the Hollywood Bowl and it started to rain, that he invoked flower power to stop the rain so the concert could proceed. So my request for Donovan today would be, could you invoke some flower power so it will rain in Southern California? Just have this little drought going on. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. We'd love to have you.
And now it's my great privilege to ask Donovan to speak to us and maybe even sing a song or two afterwards.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you for this great honor. I'm visiting your country, of course, with my music again. Los Angeles was always a second home to many a singer-songwriter from Britain and Ireland and Scotland, and it still is. We visit quite a lot. The song Sunshine Superman. Well, it's a love song for Linda and I. She stands right behind me. But when we met, we realized we were on the same journey, and that journey would be soon taken by a generation to find a new awareness and try to raise consciousness, and that's what Linda and I were bonded on. We still are working on that today. My tour that just begins very soon will be spreading the word and trying to teach children everywhere meditation to de-stress the future. I want to thank you again for this great honor, and I'm very pleased to be here today.
We want to thank you, Donovan. We want to thank you for adjusting your calendar to spend time with us today. It's exciting for so many of us to meet you, and I always felt that the coolest thing in the world would be for anybody that could go by just one name. So like just Donovan. And I'm sure for those of us that grew up during that time, we'll be humming Mellow Yellow and Hurdy Gurdy Man and Jen for the next 4 or 5 days. I mean, right now I'm just mellow, so I'm sure that you're going to do well, and thank you for giving us this treat. We really appreciate you, sir. Let's give him another round of applause. Mr. Bonnet. Mike Bonnet, our own hurdy-gurdy man.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Koretz, thank you for bringing Donovan in here. I was born a year after Sunshine Superman. Man, that's hard to say. But it was always one of my favorite songs growing up. My musical era really is the 1960s and 1970s. I probably know 36 songs post Led Zeppelin. And so your songs and your music were ones that I grew up with. And I was just telling Mr. Blumenfield, in high school I actually tried to smoke dried banana peels because I'd heard the legend of Mellow Yellow. For the record, it doesn't do anything. But I should also, I'm a big comic book fan. I loved Sunshine Superman because it also mentioned Green Lantern as a kid, and so it appealed to what I was reading. But I should mention, I'm sure you know this, but one of the most acclaimed comic book writers of all time, Grant Morrison, who writes for DC Comics, created a character, Sunshine Superman, who is part of a team called the Love Syndicate of Dreamworld, which tries to capture and personify the ethos of the mid to late 60s. It's a tribute to you because he was a big fan of the song as well. So thanks for being here. Congratulations on all the great stuff you do.
Thank you.
So I don't know if we could ask you to grace us with a song or two.
Perhaps I can do that. Yes.
That would be great.
Over there.
Yeah.
Right? Hello, City Hall. Now that song in particular, I started writing on a beach near here, down Sunset Boulevard in Santa Monica, walking the sand with that lady there, Linda. She's the Sunshine Supergirl. And here's a little bit of the song, which opened a door to an album following, which you saw over there. But this is the song, Walking That Beach. Sunshine came softly through my window today. Could have tripped out easy, but I changed my way. It'll take time, I know it, but in a while, gonna be mine, I know it. Do it in style. When you've made your mind up, you're going to be mine. I'll tell you right now, any trick in the book, now baby, that I can find. Everybody's hustling me just to have a little scene. When I say we'll be cool, I think that you know what I mean. Stood on a beach at sunset. Do you remember when? You know that beach. I know a beach where, baby, it never ends. When you've made your mind up completely to be mine, I'll tell you right now, any trick in the book, now baby, that I can find. When you've made your mind up forever to be mine, I'll tell you right now, any trick in the book, now baby, that I can find. Superman. Well, they said a couple. I'll give you another if you would like.
Sure.
I've always felt my music to be educative, and my role to be in service to society. And it's been proven these last 50 years. Here is my first song that was ever released. In the chilly hours and minutes of uncertainty, I want to be in the warm home of your loving mind. But I feel you all around me, and to take your hand along the sand. But I may as well try and catch the wind. When sundown pales the sky, I want to hide a while behind your smile. And everywhere I'd look, your eyes I'd find. For me to love you now would be the sweetest thing, 'twould make me sing. But I may as well try and catch. But I may as well try and catch the wind. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, distinguished gentlemen and gentle ladies. Again, thank you for this great honor.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Mr. Koretz, thank you.